Alright, what's going on guys? My name is Omega and welcome back to another video. So today we're going to be talking about a couple of things, including some nerfs that went live the other day, as well as a nerf coming to Seer in the next week. We also have EA finally addressing a big issue in Apex Legends, as well as a post on Twitter calling for Apex to skip Season 11 content in order to fix their game. I'm going to give you guys my thoughts on that and also want to know what your guys' opinions on that specifically are. So first off, I want to talk about this post made by the Resawn Twitter account just the other day, saying we've shipped a minor play Apex update that fixes a bug with Seer's abilities and solves a script error that was sometimes triggered by an interaction between Fuse's ult and Watson's ult. During that same day, they also nerfed both the Prowler and the L-Star. The Prowler got a nerf to its damage, where it was reduced from 15 to 14, and the L-Star now has reduced speed while ADSing. So what's interesting about this Prowler change is that the Prowler is exactly where it was back in Season 3, right before it became a care package weapon. Let me know if you guys have noticed a difference with that, if you still think that gun needs some changes for the future. They also said that a balance pass on Seer is planned for next week. Now, I'm sure this Seer nerf is probably going to be the bigger of the bunch in terms of patch notes. We don't really know exactly what is going to be changed with Seer. However, in a tweet posted by Alpha Intel or Apex Legends News on Twitter, they said this will include the removal of the flash effect from his tactical, plus more balance changes. Now, keep in mind that Apex Legends News isn't an official account with Apex Legends. I'm not really too sure where their source is, because I was trying to look for who at Respawn said this, and I couldn't find it. However, I do know that they have many connections with developers there, so it could have just been an inside comment that they got from Respawn. But yeah, we're going to be getting some big changes probably for Seer in the next week or so. Let me know down in the comments what you guys are hoping they're going to change with him. Obviously this flash effect from his tactical is going to be, probably one of those changes, but I'm sure there's going to be a lot more that they're going to have to touch on before Seer is considered a balanced legend. Now, if you guys ever wanted to sit down with Electronic Arts and have an hour-long conversation over the problems with Apex Legends, now is apparently your time to do so. EA Help actually made a tweet on their Twitter page saying, calling all Apex Legends players, we're interested in chatting to you about your experiences regarding missing in-game content. If interested and have 60 minutes to spare, fill out this form. Looking forward to meeting you. So as you guys know, this in-game missing content has been happening for quite some time. I'm not sure if they're specifically talking about people who have bought Apex coins that they never got, or there's even some people who bought heirlooms and just never received them. There's a ton of different things they could be talking about, but it looks like that they're actually going to be sitting down with people for 60 minutes to kind of, dig deeper into what is actually causing these problems. I've never seen EA actually do something like this, and what's really interesting is that if you actually click on the form that they have in their tweet, you can basically choose what game you are having a problem with. So either FIFA 21, Madden 21, or Apex Legends, which leads me to believe that this is just a problem with EA servers, not actually giving you the content that you purchased or that you received, and it's basically happening with all of their major titles. So I'll leave a link in the description in case you guys want to sign up. I'm sure they're only going to pick a couple of people for every single game in order to actually sit down with. Again, you're going to have to basically give up an hour of your time in order to do this. But yeah, if any of you guys actually end up doing this, please let me know down in the comments how it went, what you guys talked about, what they asked you about, and if they gave any information on how they're actually going to fix this in the future. Now, next up, we have some news regarding one of the developers at Respawn actually getting fired last week. So this is in regards to Daniel Klein, who was the lead game designer over at Respawn, specifically for Apex Legends. Now, the reason that he was actually fired was due to a comment that he made on a blog post about 14 years ago. Now, I can't remember exactly what this comment was. I'm pretty sure he was the author of this blog post, but basically the comment was pretty sexist. It was a pretty racist comment. And when people found out about this, obviously due to the nature of the internet, it started spreading around and everyone was talking about this and sharing this screenshot with Respawn, with EA, as well as with other developers. Well, Daniel Klein made a comment on his Twitter saying, as of last Friday, I am no longer working at Respawn. I want to be very open here and say that I'm heartbroken and depressed. It's been a very dark few days. You may or may not have seen the awful things I said in 2007. I wholeheartedly agree that that guy should have been fired. I have poured so much energy into becoming a better person since then, and right now I'm just very depressed because it feels I'll never be able to make up for who I was. I said racist and sexist things not because I deeply believed any of them, but because I knew I could get a reaction out of people. That does not excuse anything I said. The impact of my words was the same regardless of what I believed. Again, to be clear, I'm not saying EA or Respawn did anything untoward. They were absolutely within their rights to terminate me, much as I may disagree with that decision. Lastly, I'm truly sorry to the Apex team. This is a headache they did not need. I know what their future plans are, and I absolutely believe Apex has a bright future. There's so much cool shit coming, I just wished I could have worked on it. And while I think it's kind of ridiculous to be fired for something that you said 14 years ago, it was a pretty uncalled for comment, and I don't envy the fact that EA and Respawn probably had to make a really tough decision. I'm sure deep down they didn't really want to fire him, but in the same sense, it was going to be continuously brought up with that photo of what he actually said. So I understand why they actually made that decision. What I don't understand is why so many people are celebrating the fact that he lost his job. I mean, some people just don't seem to have any empathy whatsoever. And while I didn't necessarily agree with all of the balance changes that came out of him and his team, I do want to wish him good luck for the future, because understandably this is a tough thing to go through, and I think rather than continuously hating on him, we should just let him grow as a person and try to learn from his mistakes, man. Nobody's perfect. I just want to get that out there because I still see so many people commenting about this and saying really just terrible things in my personal opinion. But yeah, someone else might disagree with me. That's totally fine. That's just what I think about this situation. Now, the last thing we're going to be talking about today is a discussion that's not really entirely new, but this comes up every season, and I definitely wanted to get your guys' feedback on this. So this originally came on Twitter from a guy named Kersey. He made a tweet saying, petition to make Season 11 of Apex primarily focused on bug fixing, meta tweaking, character and weapon balancing rather than new content. Then Season 12 would go crazy with all the new content you want. Now, this actually got a ton of retweets and likes, about 300 retweets and currently over 1,200 likes on Twitter. And as you guys know, there's a ton of different issues in Apex Legends right now. We still have audio issues. There's a lot of legends and weapons that seem to just never be fully balanced. And I feel like there's a lot of parts of this game that definitely need to be fixed. We get bug fixes about every season. Sometimes those bug fixes aren't really actually fixed. So I really want to get your guys' opinion on whether you would actually enjoy something like this. Basically having an entire season where we get very limited new content, but that entire season is dedicated to fixing every known and big issue currently in Apex Legends. Now, whether you think EA would actually do something like this, I just want to point out to you guys that Ubisoft actually did this exact same thing for their game Rainbow Six Siege. It was called Operation Health, and this happened in 2017, but basically they dedicated an entire season just to fixing so many known issues within their game. And while I never actually played Rainbow Six Siege, I've seen a lot of comments, when this was going on, from people saying that this really did help the game. So while this would definitely kind of be a step backwards for Apex Legends right now, if they did decide to do this, it might actually work out really well for the future. Obviously, Apex is a game that wants to be around in the next 10 or 15 years, so maybe just taking a couple months to really dig deep and fix all of the problems in the game might be beneficial for the long run. Definitely let me know what your guys' thoughts are about that down in the comments below. I really don't think it's going to happen to that extent. Maybe we might get a month or two of basically no content while they work out a ton of different bug fixes, but that's not really anything new. They're usually always working on this stuff behind the scenes, but if they could dedicate a month or two just to fixing all of these problems, I think that would be a good idea. I'm in here for the long run. I don't plan on stopping to play Apex, so if we're giving up 2 or 3 months worth of content for years worth of enjoyable gameplay, I mean, I can't really be too upset with that. But anyways, that concludes today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Let me know any of your thoughts and feedback down in the comments, and yeah, I will see you guys all on the next one. Have a great day. Peace out.